here's number one, very encouraging. Yesterday, the effort by some to downplay what Aaron Rodgers said on Sunday has failed. It has caught fire. People are recognizing that Aaron Rodgers deliberately opened the door to speculation about his future by saying what he said at his post-game press conference. That's good, because if he's feeling that way and he says it, we can't go run and hide and pretend it didn't happen. Secondly, now he may want other things, but one thing that I am told he wants and deserves is a little more of the green stuff. He's woefully underpaid in comparison to the highest paid quarterbacks in the game. His cash for next year is in the range of $23 million. His annual per year, or his average per year, is $33.5 million in new money. That ties him with Jared Goff, which means either he's woefully underpaid or Jared Goff is woefully overpaid, or a little bit of both. But he wants a new contract. I mean, the guy's the best quarterback in the game. He's at 33.5. Mahomes is at 45. Deshaun Watson's at 39. And by giving him, number one, more money, number two, more security.
Right.
More security. I think that's part of it as well. You can do it in a way that drops his cap number below $37 million, which is currently what it's going to be for 2021, Chris. So it all makes sense. It does. And he should want a new contract.
Well, yeah, it does make sense. He is underpaid. Goff is overpaid, to your point, just to straighten that out. And then, when did I'm like, it's just curious. The thing I don't like is to hear this right now, right? I guess, when did this come out? When did this start getting talked about? Did Rodgers put this on their radar yet? I'm not in love that this comes out now, right? The day after you lose a football game. It's not necessarily the best look on Aaron Rodgers. I'll just say that.
Well, it's not like he's banging on Brian Gutekunst's door today. What happens is he makes an ominous statement about his future,
right?
And people in the know start trying to process it, and people who. So I think it's kind of been there. How could it not be there? As you are tearing up the NFL, right? And you know what you're making, and you know what Patrick Mahomes is now making, what Deshaun Watson is now making, and you're the MVP. You're the guy who's tearing it up. You're the guy who's carrying your team without any help around you to victories. Now, Deshaun Watson had no help around him, but they were 4-12 while he had a great year. Aaron Rodgers had limited help around him, and they were 13-3. So I think it's just part of what's there. And also, it's important to remember, when you give someone a new contract with guarantees and cap consequences, you basically are telling them you're here for 2 or 3 more years. And that's, I think, part of what he's looking for.
Yeah,
so
right. That's
let's
security.
get some certainty and clarity on what we want, Packers. I think that's the key. Are you going to give me the clarity that I'm looking for, or are you not? Because if you're not, then it's a different conversation. So I think that the problem gets solved quickly if they just rip up the contract and give him something that makes it clear he's going to be there for 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, that's right. I think that just explains it perfectly. That's the bottom line, right? It's about the security. It's about the knowing of, like, wait, you're invested in me, which also means you're going to be invested in the football team to support me, I hope, all right? And you're not going to try to, throw me off the cliff or make me walk the plank for Jordan Love 2 or 3 years from now. And, everything's going to be for nothing. So I understand that. I also understand I'm asking for more money too, right? When, you're not going to surround them with the Tyreek Hills and the Travis Kelce's and the Sammy Watkins of the world. Okay, then, pay him the difference. I don't know what else to say. I mean, because it is crap at times with the lack of support. So, yeah, he needs this. He needs the financial support. He needs the mental security from the team to know that, okay, they're behind him. There's not some, alternative plan going into the future about, hey, don't tell him. We'll let him play 1 more year, but then after that, we're thinking about we got our own game plan here, and we'll do with him what we want to do with him. He's trying to get the power in that situation and go, no, you're not. I'm going to have the say in that matter. And, hopefully you'll have to pay me so much money, and the salary cap number will be so much to where – they're stuck with him for a few years, and they can't move on, and they are tied to him.
Another thing to remember about the Packers, too, because they don't have an owner. They're publicly traded, and it's not stock ownership like it normally is. It's a very strange situation that has been around for years. They had to raise money to keep the team afloat back in the 20s. The NFL, and people ask me this all the time, why don't other teams do it? Because the NFL said no one else can do it, and it's not like you can go out and buy up all the stock in the Green Bay Packers and have a normal, traditional ownership group. But there's no owner who is stuffing money into his or her pockets by saving and scrimping on the salary cap. The Packers should always spend 100 cents on the dollar every year because it's all balance sheets and they're always making money. They always turn a profit. We get to see every year how they're doing. They can't say we're trying to save money. They can't say we're trying to generate profit for the owner. And it's not like they send out dividend checks. They reinvest all of the money back into the team. But why wouldn't you spend 100 cents on the dollar of every available dollar to you under the cap? And that's the objective in trying to put the best team on the field. So we'll see where that aspect of it goes, Chris. But again, he said he's going to take some time and think it through. And I don't know if he's going to have a press conference or just tweet something out and tell us what he's considered after he's thought it all through. But I think this contract issue is going to hang around until he either gets a new contract or he doesn't. Yeah,
well, listen, the owner thing's another thing that continually has come to my mind really over the last 36 hours or whatever since that game ended. I mean, that is something that still percolates about our conversation yesterday. You know, first off, there's nobody there to kind of be the guy to go, no, let's go for it, or no, let's not go for it, or, whoa, we're not doing him justice and we need to support him. You know, that's where the owner can be very helpful in any situation. He can kind of give the GM and the owner the guts to make those moves. Like, hey, I got your back. Don't worry. No problem here. You know, I don't know. I mean, do they save money? I guess extra money goes to the investors? All of that?
No, that's not how it works. That's why sense. They don't distribute dividends.
Okay. I didn't. I
the money goes into
right
upgrades at Lambeau Field, and
gotcha.
they don't have a traditional profit distribution structure, and that's the thing. Any other owner can say, well, you know what? I can spend 100% of the salary cap, but I don't have to. I only have to spend X percent on a 4-year basis. I think it's up into the mid-90s now. But the rest of that money, I can just go buy a Ferrari or, a bunch of Ferraris with it, depending upon the amount of money that's made by a team. So that's one of the things that distinguishes Green Bay from other franchises.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought that's what you meant. I needed you to clarify that for me there because I am not Johnny Business Deal by any sense of the imagination, but I am Johnny Football. And one thing I know about football is, still I come back to last year's draft, the no owner, as we sit here and talk about everything still, and it bothers me, yes, because they lost and everybody's blaming Rodgers, but just the way that went down with Jordan Love and all of that, and there was corners and receivers and defensive linemen on the board, everything that would have helped out in Sunday's football game, all right? And then, just the thought of the quarterback thing too, that bothers me. It bothers me. The Jordan Love, we're going to draft for the future when we got one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the game right now and we're in the Super Bowl window, is such a disservice to all Green Bay fans and Aaron Rodgers. It's such an outdated thought. It's not in 1987 anymore, Green Bay. We don't need the quarterback to sit on the bench for 4 years, okay? Well, we're seeing rookie quarterbacks come in the league and be as good as the stars right off the bat, like as good as the top quarterbacks right in the conversation. You and I watched Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert this year. The whole year we were like, whoa, I think they might be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the sport ever since we saw them play. Sitting on what it's doing. So I'm so frustrated with all of it, and that just bothers me. I had to get that off my chest.
And let me tie it back to the point that you're making, because people are going to say, well, if there's one owner, it's not like the owner tells the team who to draft. They don't meddle. Look, folks, they do meddle. They just try to make it look like they don't meddle. You're not going – if there is an owner, if there's a Jerry Jones in Green Bay, trust me, they're not going to take Jordan Love and trade up to take Jordan Love without running it by the owner and making sure that the owner is okay with it. That's how it works. The owners, for the most part, unlike Jerry Jones, who made himself the GM when he bought the team, the owners, for the most part, want to stay behind the curtain, and they don't want to be perceived as interfering with the process. But you're not going to make a move like that without running it by the owner.
No doubt.
And I can't think of many owners that would say, hey, that's a pretty good idea. Let's go ahead and do it. So that's the background to where we now are.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's what's driving this speculation as sparked by the comment made by Aaron Rodgers.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.